Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our lecture series on microeconomics. And I'm I'm your instructor Jamal Haider, and I really apologize for the delay in our lecture recordings. So I was very sick, and through your prayers and best wishes, thank God I just back on my feet. And please ignore my coughing session during this lecture recording because I still have some kind of coughing and a little bit more fever left here. Okay, let's move forward. We were discussing chapter 4 and we finished that one, and we also have our assignment 1 on this chapter. But to move forward, I just want to clarify further questions. We had our Zoom meeting and I found out that a lot of you will be having some kind of issues in finding out the law of demand and supply together. So what we learned here, there are three steps to find out sorry, there are three steps to find out new equilibrium. One is decide whether this is a case of supply and demand, supply or demand, or both. And second one, decide the direction, whether it's right side or left side. And third, you find out the new equilibrium. So I have just pasted here a couple of new practice questions. So let's solve it one by one. So here it is. I have added a practical questions here. So I just want you to pause the video and read the question thoroughly, and then we do it together. Okay, so let's read this question. Sorry. So how will the following changes affect the market price of a wheat flour, assuming that the market is initially in equilibrium? So in each case, sketch what happens to the demand or supply curve, and as a result, what happens to the equilibrium price. So our number is that people consume more bread. Second, the discovery of new cheaper way of milling flour. So let's do our first one. So remember, we have a market of wheat flour, okay? So as the question mentioned that market is in equilibrium. So market is in equilibrium means that this is a flour market. And this is our already quantity and price, and this is equilibrium, right? And now what happened? That people start consuming more bread. This is upward sloping, this is supply, this is downward sloping, this is demand. So what happened here? People start consuming more flour. It means number first, this is a case of demand or supply. This is a case of demand, right? Second one, what is the direction? Direction is right side, because in demand is increase in demand means shift to the right side. Third one, you find out equilibrium, right? So let's do that. This is a case of demand shift to the right side. So we're gonna have a new demand curve, this one. This is a new demand curve here. And what is the new equilibrium? This one, right? The new equilibrium shifted to above. So on this new equilibrium, what is the price? This is the price, this is the quantity, right? So what is the impact on price and new equilibrium quantity? That price is also increased, quantity is also increased. Both are increased. So this is how we find out new equilibrium, right? So let me just remove it. I have pasted a solution here as well. Here it is, right? The ultimate effect is price increase, quantity increase, right? Let's move to part B, which is discovery of new a new and cheaper way of milling flour. So our question mentioned that the market is already in equilibrium. So it means this is the price and this is the quantity, right? And this is the equilibrium. Now there is a new technology that is very cheaper and it's easy to mill flour. So it it benefit supply or demand. Think about that. If you're thinking about that it benefits supplier, you are in good shape. So this is a case of supply curve. Why? Because when cheaper way of milling flour introduced, then more producer will shift to that technology and they produce more, right? So this is the demand and this is supply. Definitely supply increase, shift to the right and find out new equilibrium, right? So supply shift to the right, supply shift to the right. Here, what happened here? Now we have a new equilibrium that is here. And what happened to the price and quantity here? So this is a new price and this is a new quantity. So did you see that price decreased, quantity increased? So price decrease, quantity increase. That is our solution here. True. So everything happens. Think in terms of demand and supply, and you will be in good shape finding out what will be the new effect of equilibrium on equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity. So I'm just going to remove it. I have pasted here solution as well. Here it is, right? So what is the effect here? Supply increase, we have new equilibrium, causes quantity to increase, price to decrease, right? So I have also pasted a detailed question here. So I just want you to pause the video here and read all this thoroughly and do it together, okay? So here the market is initially equilibrium at point X. There is then a shift in the demand or supply curve with the resulting change in equilibrium price and quantity. To which equilibrium point A, B, C, D, E, F, G or H will the market move from point X after each of the following changes? So let's do that. As question mentioned that the market initially is in equilibrium X, so it means we have S naught and D naught. So remember this is the market for petrol. So our number one is that a rise in the cost of refining petrol, which means the cost it has increased for refining the petrol. So recall your three step. This is a case of demand or supply. This is petrol market and this is the cost of input rises, right? So it means this is a supply. Supply increase or decrease? It's decrease. And find out the new equilibrium. Where is that? Let's see that. So here, supply decrease, decrease means this is supply decrease, shift to the left side, right? And what is the new equilibrium? So this is the demand. Demand cuts at H. So number one answer is H. Let me just remove that one. So number one answer is H, right? 2. A fall in bus and train fares. So this is the market for petrol and right now you are at X, right? So a fall in bus and train fares. So what happened here? When fares, so think in terms of market for petrol. So this is the demand and supply for petrol. So bus and train fares decreased. So it causes demand of petrol to increase or decrease. The three-step process. This is a case of demand. Yes, demand for petrol when the price, when the fare of the bus decreases. it's also decreases, right? We are not talking about the demand for traveling. We are, because this is the market for petrol, not the many students confuse that with the market. Right now the market is market for petrol. So if buses fare reduce, train fares reduce, demand for petrol decreases, right? And then find out new equilibrium. So demand decrease, demand shift to the left. This is the demand, right? And so we have new equilibrium, that is F, right? So first is H and then F, H and F, right? Third one, a fall in the price of crude oil and an increase in the price of car. This is very nice, and it will answer your question regarding that whether both supply or demand can increase or decrease. So here, a fall in the price of crude oil, right? An increase in the price of cars. So it means in which all the curves like demand and supply, they both shifts. So here, a fall in the price of crude oil, it causes supply curve shift to the right. So right now we have initially on X, right? This is our equilibrium. So this sentence, a fall in the price of crude oil, this is the market for petrol. So crude oil is basically the raw material for petrol. So input prices decreases causes increase in supply curve, right? So supply curve shift to the right. So we have new supply curve here, right? An increase in the price of car, which means, now think in terms of complement or and substitute. So car is complement for petrol, right? Because without petrol, car cannot run. If the price of the car increases, people will not buy cars. Similarly, demand for petrol decreases. So demand shift to the left. So demand shift to the left here. See, we have supply and demand both. Supply increase, demand decrease, and we have new equilibrium, that is, so demand decrease, this one, and supply increase, this one. So we have here new equilibrium, that is E, right? So we have H, F, and E. Similarly, 4 is a rise in the tax on petrol. So what happened when the petrol prices rises? Tax rises is causes supply to decrease. So we have right now before an X1, supply shift to the left here, and demand reduction in the tax on cars. People will buy more cars with more petrol. It means demand shift to the right, that is here. Now we have a new equilibrium, that is A, right? So I have pasted the solution here. So this is the solution here, right? So try to grasp this all scenario. Again, pause the video, try to solve by yourself again, and watch the video again so that you're in good shape. Okay, so I have pasted the solution for our assignment that you already have submitted, and we also discussed it as well. I'm just pasting here. Just pause the video and try to match your answers. Here it is.